Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, it's Worimi, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. Okay, typical Monday morning for me. The heck do we have a look at? Okay, a few things that I just want to have a point out. Apparently the protests in the US over the weekend, Friday and Saturday, apparently they were really well attended. You know, the the million person march types size. But I really do feel that they will gain momentum, and each weekend they will get bigger and bigger as we go forward. Because at the moment, people in the US are just exhausted. This is 10 years of trying to push back, and they're exhausted. So what's going to happen is that they need to see other people out there standing up for them so that they can become part of something that is bigger than themselves and feed on the group energy. So please, if you're out protesting and it's a good size, record it on your phone and send it to the alternative media stations, YouTube, etc., and or your local television or media outlets as well, and say, why are you not showing this, so that people can feel part of something. That being said, massive protests in Hungary, Romania and Serbia against their Russian leaning um, autocratic governments. So fabulous to see. Fabulous to see. This is international. This is just not the US. And speaking of the US, apparently Felon 45 has now put a tariff on Australian beef. So I hope if you're in the US, you don't like your hamburgers, because they've just gone up in value. So up in price. So whatever. Anyhow, um, it's just lunacy. However, it is what he's doing. Felon 45 is doing is he's literally flooding the zone, so that there is just so much chaos that you just don't know what to look at. You don't know what to put your attention to. I would say be aware, but don't actually put your attention anywhere in particular, because it's like over here, and before you've dealt with over here, it's over there, and it's there and there and there. Just crazy. Just be aware and let it float you by, and go to your protests and ring your reps, etc. Speaking of reps, Schumer, I pointed this out in the Curtis Yarvin video. Like a lot of you, I was like, really? Let the government fall, blah, 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 blah. Don't pass the ongoing of the budget. However, in hindsight, nothing like a couple of days to calm yourself down. In hindsight, what has happened is that if the continuation of the budget hadn't passed, the federal courts would have shut down. What's happened in the federal courts in the last couple of days is you've had the Chutkan versus Department of Greed and Evil ruling, and you've had Felon 45 making a decree about no fly for 43 countries, 20 straight up and 23 others. And he's done that by declaring that the US is at war with Venezuela. Okay, why pick on Venezuela? That was an interesting one. It's the only about the third time in history that this 1700s Act of the War Act, Emergency War Act, that he's claiming that gives him all sorts of extra powers, has ever been instigated. And the last time was during World War II, when they put Italians and Japanese and Germans in internment camps in the US. Enabled them to do that. So what's happened is that the courts have come out and said, don't think so. They've put a stay on it for 2 weeks, 14 days. Now, if the Democrats hadn't voted for the continuation of the budget, the courts wouldn't have been there to rule that. So just be aware that Democrats, the Democratic Party, their messaging is hopeless. and all we saw was the Schumer cave. Well, in hindsight, kind of think he did the right thing. Now, given that, it does mean that if the government falls and fails, it's all on the GOP, because if the Democratic Party had ruled against and the government failed, then of course the GOP would have blamed it all over on the Democratic Party. So just be aware, it's a little, wish you would message better though. Anyhow, so dark money coming to an end. What I want to have a look, or there's work going on behind the scenes. Thank you. Love it when my guides correct you. I'm here by myself. My husband and daughter are both at work, so it's just me and the fur babies, and the fur babies are fast asleep. So if you hear anything, it'll be my guides. The working behind the scenes for protection to bring what is happening to an end. However, that's not what this reading's on. What I want to have a look in regards to this reading is why did ex-junior, the Booger Boy, Phelon's human shield, was he getting on Marine1 with Felon 45 without his father? Now, Phelon has not been seen in public since he did the Tesla flogging on the Oval Office lawn with 45. Oh boy, didn't they get absolutely backlash flogged for that. Absolutely. So, Booger Boy was getting on Marine1, which is the presidential helicopter, to go to Mar-a-Lago with 45. No dad in sight. I want to know what's happening to Dad, because Dad hasn't been seen. Now, Tesla stock tanking after the so-called show and used car salesman snake oil event on the lawn. Tesla stock went through the floor. There was something that was announced, I believe, over the weekend, so the stock have rebounded ever so slightly, but they've come down from a post-election high of 479 per share, plunged to 222 per share, so lost more than 50% in those 2 months. JP Morgan have come out and said it's the biggest loss they've ever seen for an automotive. Have rebounded ever so slightly, but from what I understand is if the shares fall under $220, it's an automatic calling in of the loans and debts that were borrowed against the shares. Now, I'll explain it again. I've explained it a few times. These really wealthy, supposedly really wealthy people, the reason why they pay no tax is because they do not have an income. They borrow against their assets and they live off their borrowings. So because it's borrowings, it's not an income because they're being charged interest and the borrowings need to be paid back, etc. So it's, for example, if you mortgaged your house and you lived off your mortgage, it's not an income. You're living off your mortgage. So he's in big dire straits. So he's got massive borrowings. Remember, he borrowed to buy Twitter, which is now lost, what he paid, $44 billion, and he lost, it's down $35 billion. Interestingly enough, DJT shares are down as well, down more than 50% as well off their post-election or post-supposed inauguration high as well, down over 50%. So, but yeah, so Leon Felon is in really dire straits, and if I look at what's on the deck, when I split the deck, I got this card. The Two of Pentacles. He's desperately trying to juggle his finances. The ship is foundering in the background here in this storm. He's ankle deep in these stormy waters. He's in real financial trouble. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, where's my mouse? My mouse is just quietly sliding down my notebook there. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Show me, how is Elon Musk? What's up with, he wasn't there, hasn't been seen for days. They had the snake oil car sales on the front lawn. So what happened then? People are dumping stock. People are dumping their Teslas. Tesla dealerships are getting attacked. People are not buying Teslas. How is he? How is, right, Six of Cups. It can be the gift from the past. I'm getting emotional regression out of this card. It can be a dementia card as well, as one's intellectual status goes back to childhood. I'm getting emotional regression here. I've often seen him curled up. Now I'm going to describe the scene again. So it's not the Lincoln Room in the White House. I don't even think it's the Rose Room, also known as the Queen's Room, even though there's a four-poster there. I see him curled up. I had a look at Mar-a-Lago to see if any of the rooms were like this, but they don't show the insides of the rooms. A four-poster bed, a timber four-poster bed. He's on the floor behind this four-poster bed, curled up in the fetal position, having a massive emotional breakdown. And there is some sort of paneling on the walls. It looks like timber paneling. Now, I'm not saying it's an old place. It could be faux timber paneling, because that's not hard to make. Wainscoting, timber paneling a certain point up. His son is in the room, is what I've always seen as well, with him while he's going through this breakdown. So we've got this emotional regression happening here. The challenge is, again, emotion. Some emotional, something unexpected that's come for him emotionally is the challenge here. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, at the foundation, being stalled and the money shook out. He's been seen for who he truly is. He's not liked by any aspect. The oligarchs don't like him because he's exposing them. The EV community doesn't like him. The tech community doesn't like him. I think he's just been strung upside down and his money is just falling out of him. It can also be the sacrificial lamb, the thrown under the bus. Okay, in the past, we've got the world card. He had the world at his feet, but that cycle is over. If he hadn't connected himself to 45, he could have just merrily carried on. No, he couldn't, because felon 45 would have not gotten in and through the steel, and Phelan did say that if Harris won, he would be going to jail. Yeah, his cycle is over in the past. It's already over, and I think he realises this now. Crowning this reading, we've got the Two of Wands. He's at a point about which way is he going to decide to go forward. This is interesting because what I'm picking up here, I've just done the reading on the Department of Greed and Evil versus Chutkan, and the stag is the strength and power of the ruling of Chutkan's court. He can choose to go down this path and reveal all, or he can choose to continue down into this dark thicket where he ends up trapped. He has a choice. Wow, okay. let me say holy crumbs, the immediate future. Right, is this losing his intellectual ability, or is this him continuing with the steal, trying to get away with the steal in the immediate future? Externally, the higher authority is bringing forward a declaration externally. So this is not Felon. Is this the Supreme Court? We've got the steal. We've got the Supreme Court. We've got the emotional loss and walking away. We've also got the full moon here, remembering that we're in eclipse season at the moment. So internally, okay, thank you. We've just had the full moon eclipse, and Felon was nowhere to be seen. So I think what's happened is that on this eclipse, there's been this emotional loss. I do really wonder whether he's had that breakdown moment. Hopes and fears. Russia. The birth of something new. Hopes and fears. Russia. There's a lot of information going to come out about him, about about homeland security and protection, again with the emotions. He's not going to like what is on offer. It's emotional loss and devastation for him as this ruling comes out. His I'm going to say his wealth is significantly diminished, and there is the emotional breakdown. So I don't know whether he's had the emotional breakdown as of yet, but he's getting close. If I keep going, we've got the false victory being revealed, and we've got, this is my Harris card, and then we've got Jack Smith, or legal action, just straight out legal action on multiple fronts. Okay, if I go for the cards on the bottom, the energy that is stewing in at the moment, his ability to have his snout in the trough is coming to an end. His ability to launder money perhaps or gain money is coming to an end. This is also my voter manipulation card. With a legal ruling, his ability to grasp money is coming to an end, and we've got, it's just coming down. And then we've got, well, is this Trump? Who betrayed him? He may also betray Trump. This is betrayal, treason, loss, legal heartbreak. His control, gone. Oh, boy, oh boy. So, where's Musk at the moment? Going right back to the very first cards, an emotional regression, as he's been hung out to dry, and I think he knows it's over. I think he knows it's over. He's going to have two choices, to double down or to come clean. Oh, how's it going to end? How's it going to end? Oh, Leon, Fleon, Fleon, the flea on the flea on the rat. Let's put it that way, Fleon, the flea on the rat. Let's have a look. How's it going to end for Fleon? Love it. I think that's my new name for him. How is this all going to end? Okay, thank you. Okay, two questions. Why was Junior X the human shield. Why was he on Marine1 with F45 going to Mar-a-Lago? We'll just do a couple of quick ones here. Emotional breakdown. I think Phelan, the Fleon has had his emotional breakdown. I think he did. I think he did. Because he realizes that he's got these choices. He's unable to move forward. And his position is at an end. And emotionally, he can't cope with it. His position of being the wealthiest man in the world, emotionally, he knows it's over. Wow. Okay. That's why the boy was on Marine1. So how's it going to end? Secrets coming out about Russia. Secrets being revealed about his connections with Russia. And his overseas connections. Secrets about his overseas connections. It's not going to end well. It is not going. How's it going to end? His overseas connections. Queen of Swords, prosecution perhaps. Mercenary actions. Oh, okay, thank you. His mercenary actions from overseas. This is Harris. Because if I keep going, we've got the false victory. Entrapped by the information and emotionally losing it. And if I go on the bottom, we've got the steel. How's it going to end? It's going to end badly on so many levels for him. So many levels. I would not be surprised if he knows it's coming and he's already had, I think he's had some sort of, I won't say it's the big emotional breakdown yet, but he is losing. He can, okay, thank you. I'm seeing that Four of Wands. He can see the walls are closing in on him on so many different levels. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Love to you all. Take care. Strength and courage. See you later.